Hey Ags, tough loss for us this weekend to the Bulldogs. We brought Mississippi State in. There were some good things that happened that I think I saw, and quite a few bad things as well. Tell me what you think in the comments. What did you think we did better at? What did you think we didn't do so good at? Actually, what were some surprises for you, good and bad? I'd really be interested to hear because there were some things that I saw that I really did not expect, and we're going to cover those. This is not going to be the most cheerful review we've done. Not that we've had a lot of opportunity to have those this year so far, anyways, but we're really going to break it down, tell the cold hard truth. Hopefully, you found last week's review of Mississippi State useful in that regard because I don't want to lead you astray. And I had Mississippi State to win, and they did. And I really had to overcome my heart in that one and let my head take over to make that pick. And I think it was the right one. That way we have good expectations. Because if I have good expectations, or I should say accurate expectations, then I don't come away as disappointed. And I think I have those particular aspects of my expectations tempered because I've got context. So hopefully this is going to be a way to provide that context for you so that you've got a good idea about what we're dealing with so that your reaction is, say, on point. I think the best thing that we can do right now is be patient and understand what we're dealing with when, having a reaction. So I'm going to give you my reaction, just to start off with. I was entertained in the game. I was glad to be in the game. Didn't really feel like we were ever really in Arkansas till like the end of the third quarter when we were driving. Maybe that was actually in the fourth though. When we looked like we were going to go down before we threw the interception off of Foster's head, I thought we were going to have a chance to make that 17 tied up there against Arkansas, and that was the only spot where I thought that we were in that game. This game, I thought we were in it the whole time. It just seems like we are having some issues in some new areas and some old areas that are just continuing to linger. So we are going to look at the film, so stay with me, but I think we need to see this for what it is. It was progress in my view. That's my biggest takeaway. Yeah, the guys played like they were supposed to play in a Jimbo team, and I'm still thankful to have that. I'm not going to jump to any rash judgments and say, let's start firing the staff. Maybe there's some that could, but I'm so far off from even thinking that Jimbo's on a hot seat. I don't know how far away from that I could tell you that I am. I kind of think back to Notre Dame just a little bit with them making the playoffs last year, and they've been going at this with Brian Kelly for a while, and they've had a lot of patience too. Not saying they've arrived, but patience pays off. We'll get the team that we want. Partially, we are playing with a bunch of backups. If you really think about it, that's my sort of quick reaction to this. Calzada is a backup. We have two freshmen, Fothery and Foster, playing right now. They're technically, if you really want to boil it down, they're backups. Yeah, they're going to be first stringers one day, but ideally we would have had some upperclassmen playing this year, and they would have been able to get worked into the team. That's not happening, so they're being asked to step up. They're doing a good job of it. I'm not saying that they're not. That's not my point. But, I mean, if we were in an ideal situation, we would be playing with backups at this point with these folks playing. Now, that's not to say Kenyon is, and that's not to say Robinson is or anything, but, when you've got two freshmen on the offensive line, you're going to experience some problems. We just need to recognize that. I'm not here to place blame. That's not my purpose, so hear that out. And I think that's a dangerous game to get into and starting to place blame. Every weekend, a bunch of teams go out and half of them lose. They don't all lose because somebody did something wrong or there's somebody's at fault. Sometimes two teams play a great game, and there's automatically, naturally going to be one loser, and we learn to deal with that. So Sure, I'm going to give you the unabashed truth in my opinion here, but this is not a value judgment on any of our players or coaches. So make sure you take this for what it is and make sure you use it to temper your expectations. All right, so we're talking about, having been playing with backups a lot. And Father E and Foster do, great job, I think, throughout the game. But Calzada is also technically, obviously, a backup. He throws to Nias down here, but you can see Demas with his hands up being completely missed. Here's a different angle of it, and you'll see Demas cut inside. And Calzada just misses him, being wide open. That's basically a first down right there if we get it to Demas and possibly more to see what that guy can do. So plain and simple, this was a missed opportunity by Calzada. I think this was a great combination of offensive line for us with, let's see, we had Father E at right tackle, Robinson right guard, Foster at center. Aggie was out, so we had Kenyon playing left guard, and then Jameer playing left tackle. But you can see them; they're being quite physical. Spiller gets on the outside, makes a great move. You're going to see him find another hole here that they make for him. Early on, we were having really good success running the ball, and we really kind of did most of the night. We shot ourselves in the foot a few times, but the push that you see here and having Robinson back was key. So I really like this combination. We're going to see how they do moving forward. And another pretty good effort right here as well. We get some good push up front. They don't really get to us until we even get to the line of scrimmage. I think Spiller could have done a better job maybe of really hitting the hole on this one. But still, it's not a negative play, and that's what we're looking for every single time. We don't want to have those negative plays, but we continue to get those, and when we do, they're kind of drive killers. Great move by Watermeyer here. Good pocket. Yeah, that guy was coming, but Calzada stuck in there, and he threw a dime to Watermeyer, getting us the tutter there. You can see it in a different angle right here. Look at the pickup by Spiller. Oh, that's huge. Big pickup by him. So, that guy's just a workhorse. Really wish I could have seen the angle on the route by Watermeyer, but it's much better than he's been in the last few weeks. And, of course, good solid catch. So now moving over to defense. This is gonna be our ideal play when we're going to run this zone defense and we're going to rush 3. You want to make sure that you're in the vicinity, very close by to a guy that's a possible receiver. Everybody is on somebody at this point, even though they're playing zone, and this is a coverage sack. Great job by the D-line, but if it wasn't for the secondary, we don't get that sack. Similar play here, but you're going to see a little wrinkle that takes place. So they're doing a good job covering, but the running back squeaks out, and we lost sight of where he was at, and you can see right here when he gets the ball, we're not within 10 yards. Now we're trying to close in and make a tackle. Okay, so it was second and 11, and we're going to end up 3rd and 5. Not a bad situation, but it could have been better. And then we could have maybe had a 3rd and 10 situation where we're trying to keep the ball in front of us. Again, we're not in the vicinity. This is thrown over on Jalen Jones' side, and we just given up that all night. All right, looking here. We run this 3-man defensive front all night long. We don't really get any pressure on it until late, but you see here, we almost had a chance to block that and knock that down. That's what we're looking for when we're doing that, not the previous stuff where we're allowing that separation and too much space in between. So key is finding the space and finding the area. You see here we've just got a guy that's no one's near him, not within 5 yards. We got 2 guys that are covering grass essentially, instead of moving over to the area that they're in. And I understand, what we're dealing with when we have that, but we've got to be thinking where we're going. See the guy, he sits down on that. We don't really have a guy keen on that running back again, and so here we are left to tackle him only after he gets, at least 1 or 2 yards of gain, and then drags us for another 1 or 2. Good reaction right here by O'Neal. He really plays that one up, but as you'll see, whenever we're running up on these plays, it's hard to make a tackle like that, especially trying to stop and get your arms on it. You've got a lot of momentum that's taking place. Watch here on number 7 at the top of the screen. He sits down, 7 recognizes it, comes up on him, but he's coming so fast, he steps outside, and the momentum that you're carrying and trying to make a tackle like that, it really lowers your chances. So This is why I'm not a real big fan of all the cushion that we give. And you'll hear me talk about that more throughout this video and probably other ones that we do if we're going to continue to play this type of defense. This is a good stuff right there. This looked like that Arkansas play when Jefferson blocked for their running back, but great hit right here. I think that's Damani that did that. No, Deuce Harmon. He saved that right there. And you're going to see some great effort from us right here on the goal line. This is just going to be stuffed. Great penetration. We got heart on the goal line. We've had heart all game, and we will continue to have heart. That's the way this team will play the rest of the season. A little bit of probably a errant throw here, but if I'm not mistaken, this is the flagged play. Yeah, there goes the flag. Jalen Jones had a face mask on that play, and that gives him the first and goal, excuse me. Another great effort right here, but when you've got first and goal on the 1 and you've got that many tries, it's just not likely that you're going to hold them out. And so then you'll see the little out right on the bottom of the screen here. Just a little roll. It's pretty good coverage. We're just not close enough to be able to make the play on that, and they get the touchdown. A bright spot for us this year, and definitely this game, has been special teams. A chain fields this one, takes it on the 4-yard line. He gets us out, I think, to right about the 35. I mean, if he'd fair caught that, he'd be starting right there, 20, 25. Even the extra 5 yards would be excellent, but he definitely gets us 10 to 12, which helps. Field position matters. This is really a nice play. Very solid blocking up front by Foster and Kenyon. They're turning. They got their head on a swivel looking to get hats on helmets. Good job hitting the hole by a chain. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, a chain. And he is so mad. He tripped himself up on that one. You never know how far he's going to take one when he gets going. And again here, watch the hold that the offensive line opens up. Look at the block by Weidemeyer right here. He just holds his ground where he's supposed to go. The chain cuts it right there, takes what's given, hits the hole, and then he's just waiting to turn loose. To be quite honest, it was a great hole. Good job by the offensive line. And this is just a really good play call by the defense. I mean, they had it dialed up. 7 men in the box. They're trying to prevent run. They slant left, and exactly where we're running. There's just not a whole lot of room here. Kenyon can't really get on the other side of that guy because he breaks that way, and so. Those are going to happen. That's part of the game. You try and minimize those when they happen. Right here, we got good protection. We got a guy open. Throw a strike to Anias. Get a good 3 or 4 yards. And move the ball. Right here, you're going to see there's 2 guys open right in the middle of the field. And then I think that's, is that Preston? Or Demas is wide open right there on about the 2 or 3 yard line. We had great protection, and that's just one that errant throw and bad read. If you look at it again, you'll see Calzada just kind of looking that one down the whole way. This is a great pull by him. I was talking about this last week that I wanted to see a little bit more of this. He can run. He's no Haynes King with his running, but that was a good pull, and that's a little wrinkle that was nice to see. All right, here's the bird. The bird was the word during the game. If you didn't see that, but MVP probably. Crowd pleaser with this bird. Everybody loved him. So I'm going to see more of the bird moving forward, I think. All right, into the first quarter, starting the second. I think a common theme you're going to see is good protection, good pickup right there. That guy makes a good effort, and he gets around Fothery on that one. That was not Fothery's best play that he had. So there was a slip up. He's going to have some of those, but he is really progressing, and he is going to be very good. So based off of that, here's my position grades. Here's what I've got. I think the QB position was better this game. I think Calzada did a pretty good job. Just not good enough for me to give him anything in the B range just yet. Too many open receivers missed. Too many deliberate throws missed, or I should say reads. Too many deliberate reads that were, with a check down, could have been big gains. and you saw me highlight those. Running backs, I think, were A+. Those guys are picking up blocks. They're hitting holes. They're doing everything that they can with what they've got. Wide receivers improved this game. You don't recall probably seeing as many drops as we had the previous game. That's huge. Wademeyer did better. Anais did better. There were a few plays, too, that they really picked up some nice blocks and really made some great plays. Preston was another one. That guy was blocking his tail off. So that was very, very good to see as well. Special teams, give them a solid A. All the field goals, kickoff returns, great thing to have with our struggles that we have right now. And so the offensive line was very much improved. I gave them B+. I'm just not quite ready to get them into the A range, though. Still a few missing assignments here and there. And they've got some improvement they can make. So that's encouraging to see them make the progress they did and know how much more progress they can make. Defensive line, it's hard for me to grade this position. I don't really know what to do with it. We played 3-down linemen the whole night. I mean, they did fine. Wasn't any glaring mistakes. I just don't think it was ideal for maybe scoring in the A range. So I gave them B+. Linebackers, I think they did better. I'm not quite ready to be in the B range with them, so I gave them a C+. And it's with a heavy heart that I give out my first F of the year to the DBs. This in large part was hard for me. Jalen, I don't think is playing his best football right now. I think he can play much better, and I hope that he will. When it comes to the man defense and the zone, he's much more capable. So I'm hoping we see more from him moving forward. Offense overall grade, B-. I think I had them at a C+ last week, so we do have some improvement. We're just going to have to really start taking advantage of the things that we're given for us to get higher in this area. To approach an A, we're going to have to be, again, much more consistent and better in the red zone. When Calzada's missing guys that are wide open and with the checkdowns, those are hard to score much higher when you've only got one option. So defense for me, C+. And it's because the secondary was pretty horrific in a sense. There were some bright spots, don't get me wrong. Tyreek Chappell was fantastic in spurts and only really had a couple mistakes. He's a young guy, though, so when he's playing off and then he's returning with the ball after a throw, he misses a tackle. I get that. That's kind of part of that. Sure, he's got some area to grow there, but what we gave up on the other side of the ball was pretty detrimental in this loss. So a lot more that we can do there, a lot of room to grow. All right, so tell me what you got for the position grades. Did you think Calzada was in the area that I had him? Did you have something different? What did you think about that F? Tell me about that F. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that running backs are still our best spot? Do you think the wide receivers got better? Do you think the O-line got better? Tell me in the comments what you think. I really like to hear what y'all have to say because y'all see a lot of stuff that I don't, even though I watch it 4 or 5 times. There's people that are just as enthusiastic about this as me. I've got great opinions. So tell me what you think, and let's get a better idea of what's going on because we got a big one coming up this next week. Alabama preview coming tomorrow. It's going to be a tough test. So again, I'm going to try and approach that with my head and not my heart so I can give you guys the best possible review. Hopefully this gives us an idea of what it is that we need to do so that we can prepare for Alabama. And as a fan, it gives us the right expectation, I think. So I don't know if I'm comfortable with saying we need to review a coach or anything at this point. I'm just so much in the patient stage right now. I've seen so much great stuff that I don't even think that that's worth the conversation right now. Maybe at positions. But we'll see how those kinds of things shake out. That's up to Jimbo to take care of when position coaches are not taking care of what they need to take care of. And I'm hearing what I need to hear so far, and I trust that things are going to get corrected. I've seen the growth, so I know. That doesn't mean everything's going to get made perfect by next week or by the end of the season. A lot of stuff that we have to deal with is going to be thinking about, well, since we're playing with so many backups, what are we thinking about also in terms of next year? With Haynes King being out, we're going to need to get him some significant time. We don't want him, coming back and playing his first game again starting next season. We need to get him some experience. We need to get some of these younger guys experience, and we need to gain some momentum, haul in another quality recruiting class, and then make progress. This is about surviving and advancing at a certain level, right? Because you don't always just get to reload. Not everybody does that. And so when you have large departures and plug and play type situations, you've got to do that. You've got to get better week to week, and we've done it so far, and I expect we will next week. It'll be tough to tell perhaps. So, but we'll grade that game as well, and then we'll take away what we can. So until then, gig 'em.